like what they said, to hurt my feelings. If you don't like what people say, this good business is going to hurt a lot of feelings. This one's going to hurt all your feelings. Because, imagine when you're a working actor and you do a movie and some critic comes out and says, it was the worst performance I've seen from them in 5 years. And they might say, the acting was terrible, and who knows? People have opinions. I always say, what other people think about me is none of my business. I don't care. But you have to get to that stage, And then the other one, I am independent. My nose tickles. I'm independent of the good or bad opinions of others. Write it down on a piece of paper, on a little sticky note. Put it on your... Sorry, whenever I get excited, if you watch me for years, my nose tickles. Put it on your mirror and look yourself straight in the eye and say, I am independent of the good or bad opinions of others. So like people can praise me to the end of time. That's nice. People can put me down. That's, what they have to do. I'm independent of either one of those things. Like I'm not defined by other people's opinions. I'm me, and I define me. And I work for God, and I'm here to be of service to you. And the only opinion that matters to me is the opinion I have of myself and the opinion God has of me. And everything else, I'm independent of that. Because those things will go up and down. Somebody will like you one day and not the next, or hate you one day and like you the next. I mean, you just can't base your self-worth on other people. So hopefully we're here to teach you a lot of different things, not just about acting, but also about the business, and also about having strong belief in yourself and self-confidence. And remember, self-confidence really just means, how do you feel about yourself? It's not taking into consideration anyone else's thoughts or ideas about you. They really don't have anything to do with you. So I hope you learn that. When you're auditioning for projects, your job is not to try to be what you think casting wants you to be. It's not your job. Your job is to learn how to use your craft, your tool, your body, voice, emotional vehicle to the best of your ability. Learn how to break down scenes and tell a story using your emotions, your mind, and your body, and the script that they give you. And then go in the audition room and show them what you can do, and then leave. Be grateful for the opportunity and move on. You cannot guess what they want. They don't know what they want. They just want to see all these different choices, and they'll pick what they want. You don't have any control over that. So the serenity prayer, which I love dearly, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, which in my opinion is everybody else, people, places, and things. No control over that. The courage to change the things I can. That's just yourself. And the wisdom to know the difference between changing yourself and everybody else and everything else. And when you know how to just keep the focus on what you're doing, you find serenity. That's the serenity prayer. So in this business, there's a lot of things that are out of your control. You can't control who signs you, who doesn't. If an agent drops you or a manager drops you, you can't control if you don't get a part. You can't control if a show does not get picked up. You can't control if a movie does not get funded. You can't control if your part is cut out in the editing room. There's like things you can't control. So there's no point thinking about those or worrying about those. They are, serenity means you don't bother with those things, because you will not have peace if you're trying to control things that you can't control. If you're obsessing about stuff that you can't control, you will be crazy. So you have to learn in this business to just keep your focus on the things you can control. I call them the controllables. Now, what's controllable as an actor when you're just starting out? Your acting classes. What classes do you take? That's a controllable. You can control that. You decide who you're going to train with. Before this group, and maybe before the advent of technology in general, where people can now communicate all over the place on Instagram and on different platforms, you maybe didn't know who to train with, and you didn't hear people's opinions about classes or their experience about classes. But now you can get a list of, go into this TMFA and hit the search icon and type in acting teachers, and you'll see all kinds of recommendations. It doesn't mean it's law. It's people's experiences. And some classes work for some people, so same class doesn't work for everybody. So if you're looking for new classes, my suggestion is do some auditing. Auditing is when you go for free to the class one time. Some audits, they let you participate. Others, they just have you watch. And I used to tell actors when they came to LA, go to 50 classes and audit them. Really don't sign up for anything. Don't look for an agent or manager right away. You don't need it, believe me. Just start to figure out who are the teachers and what do they teach. Because you need to take a lot of different classes. And as an actor, you're going to be training for a very, very long time. I always hear newbie questions. Newbies are actors that are so brand new, they don't really know anything yet. And a lot of newbies are here in this group, and we're so glad you're here, because then you're going to get solid information. That makes me happy. So newbies always say, well, how many classes do I take until it counts? Or, how many classes should count on my resume? That's the wrong thinking. You're asking the wrong questions. The right question is, who should I train with and why? And what kind of classes do I need to take? As an actor, you will always be training. The year 1, year 50, you will always be training and growing and learning as an actor, because the craft of acting is something you get better at year after year after year. And every teacher you work with expands your ability to be a good actor, expands your range, expands your confidence. And we call it in the business adding tools to your toolbox. So you might take commercial classes and you'll add the skill of breaking down commercial sides to your toolbox. Then you might take an on-camera class and you'll learn how to break down scenes and perform in front of a camera. You might take improv classes where you learn how to listen and react and respond without thinking, but like in the moment. You might take Meisner. You might take method, Alexander technique, Chubbuck technique. You might learn audition techniques from James Ciccone here in our group, or Amy Linden, or Christine Horn. And all of these people, all of these different classes you're taking, you add them to your resume, and then you take more classes, and you add them to your resume and keep taking classes. And there should not be a year that you're not taking classes. Even when actors are series regulars, during hiatus, they're back in class. And when they have their scripts, they usually have an on-set coach with them, or they work with their own private coach on scripts, but they're always training and always growing. So you'll always be growing. That said, training is one of the controllables. Another controllable are your headshots. Taking your headshots. Who do you shoot with, right? I just watched the representation Sunday. I looked through the posts and I see a lot of things that are good. I see a lot of things that are wrong. A lot of things that are wrong. And, that's why we're here, to teach you how to do it right. I can give you guidance and advice right here in a 30-minute talk, but it's not the same as really looking at your materials every week and making sure you're on the right track. And I do that at Hollywood Winter Circle Academy. And I love working with actors over there. If you notice, Brandon Cohen from BAC Talent Management was here in the group, and he asked for people to submit to him directly. He looked at 140 submissions, and he signed 3 people. 2 of them were Hollywood Winter Circle people. And that's because they really know what they're doing over there. We make sure that they really have a strong package. That's part of your controllable, right? Like, how do you take headshots that pop? What does that mean? What are great headshots? I'll tell you. A great headshot takes into consideration the kind of roles that you're going to play. So if you're going to play a badass, then you would dress that way and you'd have that energy in the headshot. If you're going to play a sweet young girl next door, you would dress that way and you'd have that energy in the headshot. And you would have thoughts going on while you're taking your pictures. You cannot pose. When you pose for the camera, it just looks like modeling. And it doesn't tell a story in your eyes. And if you understand anything about acting, it's all about the story in your eyes. We don't watch actors to watch them from the neck down. We watch them to see what's happening in the eyes, their life, if they're in pain, if they're in love, if they're afraid. It's all in the eyes. It's all in the eyes. If you put blindfolds over all of the series regulars, you might stop watching television, because it's the soul of you connecting with their soul. And that's the human connection that we long for, and that you get to experience when you go to a movie on the big screen and you're in that amazing place where you get to transcend your current reality and live the life of the character for 2 hours, feeling things you don't feel in your own daily life, feeling scared or fear or love, and it takes you and your spirit and your imagination to another place. I think it's the greatest, one of the greatest gifts human beings give to the world, to each other, is this incredible ability to tell a story and transport you in your body, your spirit, your emotion into another place, experiencing things you probably will never experience, and that's the amazing thing. Last night I was in the mood to watch disaster films. The moon turned out to be some kind of shell covering some alien life, some alien platform, and it was coming towards the earth, and like everybody's just being destroyed, and we're not, hopefully never going to experience that, but you want to feel what that feels like if that was to happen, and your imagination just goes there with you, goes there with the movie. I love actors. I love what you guys do. I want to see you do as much of it as humanly possible. And that is the only reason that I do what I do, is to help you do what you do. Because I really, really, really love actors, and I love movies, and I love the stories you tell. But you have to be telling those stories not just on set when you get a part, but also in your headshots. And you may not have learned that. There's a lot of things you don't know. But as an agent or manager, and I've been both, there are things we are looking for that you don't know. And unless somebody tells you what they are, you will not know. And you'll just keep going along trying to do what you think and do what you think is best. But that's not always what you really need to be doing. Okay. I think you really need to know what to do so that you can actually do it. And this business has never been good about making sure actors know what they're doing. This business ignores the new actors and doesn't care about them until they're successful and until they're making money. Then everybody cares about the star. But all of you who are here now, who are new actors, are tomorrow's stars. Are stars in 5 years, in 10 years. You are the next generation of actors. And I think you're the most important people on the face of the earth. So I am devoted to making sure you know what you need to know.